Still talking to Isabel Oakeshott, Talk's international editor. Yes, Isabel, before the break, you were mentioning people who are profiting off the migrant crisis because, of course, in order to accommodate all these thousands, many thousands of people, the crossings this year are 14% up on last year. So thanks very much for that, Keir. Great policies. All these migrants coming over mean they have to be found places to stay, and there are various contracts given out to that end by the Home Office. Meet migrant hotel tycoon Graham King, whose company, they're called Clear Springs, was paid £1.74 billion last year, and that was an increase on the previous year of £400 million, a £400 million increase. Right now, this guy, his company, is raking in a staggering £4.8 million every single day from the migrant crisis, from the government, to accommodate the asylum seekers who are pouring across the channel, staging this ongoing evasion. I mean, this is grotesque, isn't it?
I think it's completely obscene. I'd love to invite him to come on our show, but I'm sure that he would decline because I think he'd find it completely impossible to come up with any moral defence whatsoever for taking this money. Basically, he's just transferring taxpayers' money from other causes, proper public service causes, into his own pocket. By providing services for something that shouldn't be happening whatsoever. To me personally, this is no better, and in fact, even worse perhaps, than those people who made millions and millions of pounds off the back of the pandemic. It is absolutely grotesque. It really is, to be making vast fortunes. I don't like anybody taking millions of pounds or even hundreds of thousands of pounds for their hotels or other facilities being used. But if that is going to happen, we could at least see it distributed across the country so that people in all sorts of parts of Britain are actually getting something back for the horror that is being inflicted on communities. It is no good, or even worse, shall I say, if so much of the money is going into the pockets of one company.
Yeah, and there's Serco as well, are very much involved in all of this. The government, our hapless government, the hapless Home Office, is just handing out, I mean, not millions, over the course of a couple of years, billions of pounds to people like Graham King, you know, who in the end is just a clever businessman who's cashing in on a, you know, useless sap of a government. But they're giving out billions of pounds to people like Graham King, Serco and other companies to accommodate the ongoing influx of these migrants. It's just unbelievable. And you would think that with all of this going on, that Keir Starmer and Yvette Cooper might see that there's some sort of imperative for them to actually do something, like Giorgia Meloni in Italy, to actually set about reducing the number of people who are coming. But all those two have done so far, all this entire government have achieved so far, is to produce a surge of more migrants coming across, even more, because they've made the prospect of coming to Britain so attractive. You get a free hotel, 4-star usually, you get free food, you get 45 quid every single week. We give them benefits. You get free doctors, free dentists, and you get free lawyers to help you fight your case to stay. I mean, that is absolutely insane. And a proper government, having just come in, would set about doing something like this. Get a system going like France. If you do get to this country, well, A, we'll probably just deport you, but, you know, here's a tent. See how you get on. Leave it at that. Why do we give them so much?
I mean, genuinely, I've no idea. It's so completely self-harming to us as a nation. You know, we've just heard the Chancellor last week stand up and say, we haven't got any money. Well, how about you try not spending billions of it on all of this complete and utter farce? You know, when we say, like Keir Starmer said today, he's going to give another 75 million for a plan that we all know won't work. Just think about those numbers. Think how many people's actual hard earned money, that is. You know, people who are paying a few £1,000s in tax every year, which means the world of difference to their quality of life. And yet that money is just so casually squandered. It really is utterly sickening.
Yeah, typical Labour, taking all the money from hard-working individuals and private companies and chucking it massively into the public sector in terms of the £22 billion day-to-day funding that Rachel Thieves has managed to free up for the NHS. She sort of, look at what I've done. That's not good. That's bad. That's too much. So with 22 billion, you might as well throw into a money pit and set fire to. And then you take 75 million, which is another 75 million to give to the Border Security Command. You might as well put it in a sack with a concrete boot around it and throw it into the Channel. It's pathetic. That's why Rachel Reeves needs all this money, so that this useless Prime Minister can hurl money into places where it will do no good whatsoever. It really is a despicable scene.